are currently walking down Bundy Drive and are already getting a bit of an eerie feeling.
Yes, it feels very strange to be here. The night of June 12th, 1994. Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman were murdered on this street right here at Nicole Brown Simpson's condo. We got the whole story of that night, how things went down, what witnesses saw, a look at OJ's house, all that coming right up. Y'all come along for the adventure.
Come along.
We're now walking down South Bundy Drive, Brentwood, Los Angeles, California.
And we're coming right up to the exact spot where the murder of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman took place. The pole and the tree here in front of us are important markers for the murder location. They moved the walkway where Nicole's body was found.
Yeah, right here is about the spot, I believe, where it would have been. The reason why I know this is because there's some pictures of that day that show a police officer standing by this pole behind me here. And you can see very clearly the street sign right there and this tree. The walkway was somewhere right to the right of the tree, which would have been right in here somewhere, where the famous picture is of Nicole's body laying there in the walkway. Of course, Ronald Goldman was off to the right-hand side, kind of off of the walkway a little bit and in a little brush. Now they've switched the walkway to over here, which is a good bit of distance from where it was. Of course, there's no telling what happens once you get inside the door there. The walkway could veer off to the right and get back to the original spot, or they might have just taken the whole thing out and replaced it, because you can see here it's several feet over the spot where the walkway would have been the night of the murder, where the bodies were left, and also OJ Simpson's bloody footprints were found.
But actually, now we're getting a rare peek inside the walkway area. There are workers here power washing, so we're getting a look inside the condo walkway next door to where Nicole's condo was. As you can see, the original walkway may not have been replaced, as it appears to be in the same location as the night of the murders. And then it veers to where the new entrance is now. Shortly after Nicole's murder, her dog came hysterically barking out here.
Yeah, it would have come out the gate here, probably, more than likely. There have been a couple reports of it barking hysterically out here in the walkway. And there is evidence here that the dog was not doing anything during the time of the murder. Apparently it was an attack type dog, an Akita. Could have attacked the person who was murdering them, which gives you an idea that the dog perhaps knew the person who committed the murder. And of course, right down the walkway over here somewhere is where one of the two famous bloody gloves was found. The other one, of course, was found at OJ Simpson's property.
Nicole's dark Jeep was parked right here behind us.
Yeah, there's some evidence here of OJ having been here. There was a blood drop of OJ's found right over here, somewhere in this area. And this fence was not there at the time. There was another one behind it. They've added this since the murder. OJ obviously would have come out here. Nicole's Jeep was blocking him through here, so he had to come around, drop of blood here, and circle. The assumption being his car, the white Bronco, of course, that everybody knows, was parked right here. At which point he got into his car, took off. In his book, If I Did It, OJ says he would have removed all of his bloody clothes and left himself with only his underwear and socks on. So assumption is he's driving down the road here in just his underwear and his socks.
They added security cameras behind the condos sometime after the murders. Nicole lived in this house from 1992 to 1994 on Gretna Greenway.
Yeah, this is a house where OJ has admitted to stalking her. He would sit out here, maybe across the road in his car or whatever, and look over at the house. He saw her being intimate through these windows right here with the owner of the Mezzaluna restaurant at one point in time. That's what he testified to in one of the trials. Also, this is the first residence where Cato Kalin comes into the picture. He stayed in a guest house, which is located out behind this house. Then he wanted to move in with Nicole, and she invited him to the house on Bundy. But OJ said, no, not on my watch. And OJ didn't even know the guy that very well, wasn't really friendly with him, but he said, come stay at my guest house at my house.
This is also the same exact residence where Nicole made that 911 call in 1993.
Yeah, OJ had come to the house. He went into the back kicked in the back door, came into the house, was yelling and screaming at her, and she called 911. She hung up the first time, called back shortly thereafter, and you can hear the tension in her voice on the 911 call.
OJ and Nicole were both at this school on the night of the murder. OJ and Nicole both attended their daughter Sydney's dance recital on the night of the murder at Paul Revere Middle School.
Yeah, it's the school right there behind us. Apparently after the dance, OJ went up to Nicole and said, "Can we go out to dinner together as a family?" And she turned him down. It was at that point OJ headed home, and it began to get more and more irate. At the house, OJ was trying to use an alibi of saying he was going to McDonald's, but Cato Kalin apparently said, "Well, I'd like to go to McDonald's too." So that kind of blew 30 minutes up out of OJ's time frame, because he went to McDonald's with Cato and then came home 30 minutes later.
This is a spot where Ronald Goldman used to work as a waiter. Nicole and her family ate here, which used to be a restaurant called the Mezzaluna.
Yeah, on the night of the murder, they were eating here. Nicole's mom, Judith, had dropped her prescription glasses out here on the walkway somewhere. So they called up here to the restaurant. Ronald Goldman was a waiter here that night. He found the glasses. His plan was to take it back to Nicole's house. He left the restaurant around 9:50 that night and headed back to his house first.
Before returning the sunglasses, Goldman stopped at his apartment, which is located here right behind us.
Yeah, this apartment is within walking distance of the restaurant, so he just walked home, took a shower to get cleaned up before he headed over to Nicole's house with the sunglasses.
Robert Hydra lived just a block away from Nicole and was walking his dog on the night of her murder.
He was walking the dog right down this street here. It's Gorham Avenue. He would have come up to here, kind of go around the corner that's here in front of us, and he heard the Akita barking like crazy, just crazy. So he didn't want his dog to get involved in a fight with another dog. So he saw this alleyway right here to our left and headed down the alley.
Hydra testified that he was walking his dog down this alleyway, taking his time on the night that Nicole was murdered.
When he got to right around in here, which is the 878 mark in the alleyway, he heard 3 hays. Hey, hey, hey! And then he heard a metal clanging, like a metal gate shutting. He said it was from the west in the direction of Bundy Drive, which would be on up over these houses. This is where you get over to Nicole's condo.
After Hydra made his way to the end of the alleyway, he then took a left.
He started walking up this sidewalk right here. He says that when he approached a large tree, he stopped. I don't know if it's because he heard the sound of a car or what the reason was for him stopping, but it was apparently right under this tree right here where Hydra stopped. He turned back to his right to look down the street, and that's when he saw the white SUV coming up to the stop sign. Now we have to take into account it would have been nighttime when Hydra was standing here with his dog, but he says he saw a white SUV. Originally, I think he did say Bronco, but that would have been really hard to tell for sure that time of night. He saw a white SUV pull up to the stop sign and take a right turn right there onto Bundy.
Jill Shively was an eyewitness who claimed to have seen OJ fleeing the crime scene.
Yeah, she says that she saw him come through this intersection right here behind us. It's the intersection of Bundy and St. Vincent. She says that OJ did not have his lights on. He was in the white Bronco. He went trying to blaze through the light. Somebody got in his way. He leaned out his window and yelled at him, and she saw for sure that it was OJ Simpson. He continued on up Bundy after the interaction. After that interaction, the assumption is he headed back to his house, which was right here at the time.
Around 10:50 that night, OJ pulled up and parked his Bronco right beside here.
Yeah, you can tell because of this number on the street, 380. You can see in the pictures, police photos, that his Bronco is parked right here at a little bit of a curve. Now this is interesting because the limo driver says he never remembers seeing OJ park here. OJ typically parks on the road down the other side by the other entrance to the house. The other thing of interest here, of course, is the fact that OJ says in his book he was apparently in his underwear at this point in time. He jumped out of his vehicle, out of the Bronco, and then he climbed over the fence. Apparently he did not want any noise of the fence opening. So he climbed over right there and went running down the side. It's down that right side there somewhere where the bloody glove was found. Of course, OJ ran into an air conditioner or somehow the side of the house where Cato Kalin was staying, the guest house in the back. He heard several thumps and he came out to check on things just before 11 o'clock. The limo driver says he saw a figure, a dark figure in the front yard heading for the door of the house. Of course, this is not the house as it was then, but this is the same driveway location on this side as the night of the murder.
We made our way across the country to Tennessee to find the actual Bronco OJ and Al Cowlings rode in for the police chase seen around the world. On June 17, 1994, police asked OJ to turn himself in.
Instead, he got into this Bronco driven by his buddy Al Cowlings, and the rest, as they say, is history.
During the Bronco chase, there were a ton of people right here.
Yeah, a big group of people. At least one of them took off down the road chasing OJ and the Bronco.
The infamous OJ chase ended right here.
Yeah, you can see him on the video driving past this driveway and then pulling into his driveway, which is no longer here. It's now a fence. It's been covered up. The driveway has been covered up as well with grass. But we think we found the exact spot, which would be right here, where the color changes on the cement and all the way down to there where it changes again. So my assumption here is that this is exactly where the driveway was that OJ drove into, and he parked his Bronco. It was at that point that Al Cowlings got into an argument with somebody that was standing outside of the vehicle. I remember the TV announcer saying something like, oh, it could be a fist fight. They were arguing, and then there were police surrounding the vehicle waiting to see what OJ was going to do next and when he was going to go ahead and give himself up.
That's it for our look back at Nicole and Ron's last terrifying day of their lives.
Yeah, y'all be sure to hit that like button, smash the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell so you can come along with us on future adventures.
Come along.